And here are animals and the flying creatures and the crawlers. And we'll be discussing other opportunities and options for our older generation to protect them and our younger generation as well. So this is what's going on out in our power lines every single day. In Yarmouth, they sprayed 3 years ago, and it's still dead vegetation. In Harwich and Brewster, it's a little thicker for undesirable plants, so it's not spread out as much. It's more condensed areas that are just, there's no new growth, no new vegetation coming back. What I liked about NStar's proposal is that what they want to do is start off in the beginning spraying and weaning themselves off of herbicidal use through the years. I think that sounds wonderful. I just don't know how practical it is that it will never ever actually stop. They will always need to keep applying because seeds are going to spread, by the wind or birds or by nature itself. And what I have is a solution that hopefully will make it so that's unnecessary. We'll talk about that in the end. As we all know, anything that ends in a CIDES is actually made to kill a pesticide, an herbicide, a fungicide, insecticide. And so keeping that in mind, if we have to continue to, add things that are going to take away from nature itself through time, what's that going to leave us? I'm a future-orientated person by nature, and so I'm always thinking of the 5-year plan and the 10-year plan, especially when I do designs and such. So NStar's goal is to, kill off the root systems of the undesired plants and vegetation. I'd like to introduce Finbar Phelan from Safe Lawns, who's actually going to talk to us for 5 minutes further on the importance of soil biology. Finbar?
In Cape Cod, and the last 3 years ago, my wife and I got involved heavily in organic landscaping and a way to manage specifically turf as opposed to using, if you will, a ChemLawn or a Scots type of approach to managing residential and commercial turf. And so we had traveled all over the country and done a lot of research. And it was sort of born originally out of concerns that we had through research for the safety of our staff and also our clients, and just sort of a residual build up over 10, 20, 30 years of using these products literally around the footprint of your home, where animals and children and people are moving in and out of domestic animals are moving in and out of these properties on a daily basis. So we had done this research and discovered that there was a lot of toxicity in residential soils just from years and years and years of continued use of pesticides to manage mainly invasive weeds, to sort of, with the visual threshold being that the perfect lawn, Gucci lawn, was the goal that we all wanted to sort of get to. And I came from the other side of the field where I had learned and had used chemicals for years and had pesticide training and licensing and everything else. And we actually did it for hire for many years the old way. So we sort of converted over in the last 3 years, and we manage over 2 million square feet of residential turf right now, all over Cape Cod. And our primary product is our primary goal and our primary tool is to restore biology into the soil. And we've extensively we test before we do anything at all. There's no cookie cutter approach, and we found that there really is very little soil biology left in chemically managed turf. And subsequently, the only way to really manage the weeds is continually using a preventative type applications to keep that green, perfect look. So what we found is we haven't found any biology when we've tested soil and chemically treated lawns. And subsequently, what's happened is it becomes a management nightmare. So particularly Roundup, I've done a lot of research on Roundup, particularly glyphosate, and we found that it immobilizes manganese in soils, and the manganese is an essential soil mineral. And we've also found that it affects the rhizosphere of the root systems, particularly beneficial root funguses. And it's thought to be benign, and we've found that it continues to be found in soil when we've done our testing. So my basic stance on this whole spraying of the power lines is that there's a better way to do it. And my concerns is about the abutting land and obviously the single source aquifer. And we've actually done it and been profitable at it. People said it couldn't be done. You can't manage turf organically. And we've done that. Yes, we've had some, certainly we've had issues with weeds. But we've managed, as we've infused biology back into, through compost tea and the like, back into residential turf, the weeds have sort of gone away. So it can be done without the use of chemicals. Thank you.
Could I just ask you to elaborate a little bit more? Like, say you go to a lawn that has been chemically treated and manicured and massaged, and you come in. What after your testing and you see that there's no biology? What is the time frame? What is exactly you do? You said you use like a compost. What types of compost? What is the process that you go to? Well,
it varies depending on the test results. It varies. It becomes each area that we remediate becomes sort of a fingerprinted treatment program that we develop, as opposed to sort of a cookie cutter approach to lawn care. So what happens is our primary compost tea is derived from vermicompost, which is earthworm manure, and we sort of we inoculate that depending on what the other soil test results reveal for that particular property. We would add, other material in there, different types of fungi, nematodes, protozoas, amoebas, and whatnot. And then we sort of create a program for that particular soil deficiency. And then by building up the soil, it's really a soil health program. By building up the soil then with the primary target plant in that area that we're trying to manage being turf, lawn turf, rye, fescue, and bluegrass, those plants have thrived. And usually in about a 1 to 3 year, and we have root systems now that are 4 feet deep that we've actually, we've done test areas with plywood boxes in lawns, and we've been able to go down, we've been able to dig, and we found, 3-foot root systems after 3 years on a regimen of compost tea.
Okay, so it takes about 3 years for the conversion to take hold.
Yeah, it really depends on how much we have to sort of bring it back and do sort of a restoration program first, and then we usually end up then backing off on year 3. And there's a couple of properties now where we're only treating twice a year. We've also managed to reduce mowing and carbon footprint by over 50% as a result of this program.
Do you do other vegetation other than lawns?
We have a tree and shrub program too, where we're using this more as opposed to a bacteria type of tea that we use on turf. We use more of a fungal type tea for shrubs and trees. So yes, we do.
Perennials and such.
Yes.
Great.
Course, yeah.
Do you have any business with commercial, say, golf courses or businesses that have their lawns manicured and?
Yeah, we work with the Vineyard Club, which is an organic golf club in Edgartown. We supply tea to them.